Hello everyone, I'm going to show you how to use pivot table using this example. Alright, so let's say you have this data, city, NDVI until urban. Alright, let me first explain to you what this data is about first before we go on playing with pivot table function. Right. For example, here I have city. City is data that I use to represent the type of city that has been used for this study. Actually, there has name for each city, but I have changed the name into numbers. So it is actually a nominal data. NDVI is actually as index, greenness index achieved from satellite. It highlights about the area's greenness level. So the higher level of greenness, the higher number of this index is actually from 0 until 1. Year is the year this data is collected. Density is a population versus the size of the area in kilometer per square. Population is the number of people in that city. Old is number of old generation. Insect is the number of insects found in that city. Urban is the level of urbanization of the city. It is actually here you can see the value 1, 2, 3. So it indicates the urbanization level. 1 is the lowest level of urbanization. 2 is the middle. 3 is the the most urban area. Well, since you don't really get to hear about the urbanization definition from me, so I hope you can disregard this this element. However, it is useful that you understand that here urban means nominal data. Alright, so let's see how we use pivot table. You can find pivot table here at insert, but before you use the function, you have to highlight all the data that you want to use for analysis. Right, then you can click insert and then choose pivot table. Okay, as soon as you click pivot table, you will come across this instruction or this option. So since you have highlighted from A to H, so this is what it written. Okay, column A to H in sheet 1. Right, if you do it in other sheet, it will come as other sheet like sheet 2 or until the whatever number you have. Okay, next you will see this. Choose where you want the pivot table report to be placed. You can choose either new worksheet or existing worksheet. New worksheet meaning it will be done in the other sheet. Maybe it's going to be in sheet 2. It depends on the sheet that you are at that time. Existing worksheet is the current worksheet that you are using but at different location, which is what we're going to do now. Okay, so I'm going to put this pivot table in this existing worksheet. The location, I will click here and then I will put my cursor where I want it to be, which is maybe here. Okay, so you can see it will write as K and column as the column and 5 as the row. And nothing else should do, just proceed to OK. Alright, now you will see this function. Let me open this up a little bit bigger. Alright, so now you will see this new pivot table. So what you want to do now is you want to play around with the data. So let's say we want to see how many cities that we have in this data. So we will drag city either to column or row. First you put a city at the column. So you will see your data will become like this. Okay, it will be in column. Okay, that means you have 1 up till 13 because that's the number of cities that I have in my data. Blank is if you leave 0 or nothing in that space, so it will still count. Alright, but it is quite challenging for us to see through column, so why don't we use rows? So it will be here. Alright, so the important part of pivot table is actually how it helps you to calculate your data in a faster way. Okay, you don't need to use formula. So you want to know the number of city that I have analyzed, so I will drag city to values. So it will come as sum of city. Okay, that means here, since the city 1, it had the total amount of cities available in my data, which is 23, and it adds up until 23. Like 1 plus 1 plus 1 until 23 times. That's why it gets 23. For 2, it has counted the city 2 as 2 and sum it for 23 times. Right? This is like 23 times 2. That's why it gets 46. Okay, you don't want this. Okay, that is the reason why I want to show you the difference between sum and the other one, count. Okay, so this is the function of sum. It is only useful if you want to quantify the real value of that element. I will show the example after this. Alright, so first we will see sum of city. We don't want to use this function. So we will change here the values. Click at this. You come with this option and you will choose value field settings. Right? Here, there are many values that you can use to describe your data, but here I only want to use count, right? So count. So it will change. It will become count of city. See? So this is correct. The data that I have for city 1, I have used 23 times to describe about city 1 in my data, because I have data from 1983 to 2005, so it is around 23 times. That's the reason why they are here 23. Okay, let's say I want something else to play around with. Okay, I want to see. So here we have city, right? And we have other variables. Okay, let's say we want to find out the number of old generation at the city. Okay, so I will calculate this from 1983 to 2005. So what I want to do now is to include all of those data. So I will change this value, take it out, and I will use old. Okay, because that's where my data is, old, and put it here. Okay, now I want to use the value sum, right? Not count anymore. Because if I use count, you will see this is the number of frequency the data is available. Okay, see, it will be 23. I don't want that. I want to be as sum. Right, see? So you will be able to see the differences of the old generation between the cities, right? So if you can see here, sometimes you can actually play around by sorting them into higher to low, but not in this video. I will show you in the next video. So this is how you play around. Alright, but let's say you only want to find out from one city, which is from sorry, not from one city, from one temporal period, which is from 1 year. So I will check here and put it at filter. Okay, now you will see some change. See here, it will have this new element here, all. Okay, because just now I have included from 1983 to 2005. You can see from here. Okay, these are all the periods I've used. Okay, I want to see only from 2005. So what I will do is first click just now for all, unclick them and choose only 2005. Click OK. See, now your data change. It has a lower number. See, so that means this is the amount of the numbers of all generation in 2005 from all cities. Alright, so that's all from me for this function. I hope you can play around with the data. If you have, you can see how useful this pivot table is in helping you to analyze your data. Okay, thank you for watching.